Our first session today is about getting your business online. So I'm going to spend the next 20, 30 minutes talking to you about what I know in terms of tools and tips of bringing my business online. First, I'll introduce myself. My name is Erica Ma. I'm not a programmer, so I hope that relates to many of you out there. Are there any programmers here? Okay, good. So we're on the same boat. So I don't know how to code a line. I graduated from Stanford with a degree in communication, with a focus in human-computer interaction, and also a master's in psychology. I worked for Macy's.com, where I was responsible for their men's and kids businesses. Basically, my job was to drive sales, use analytics to understand what people are buying, what they're searching for, and get as many people to shop through on a daily basis. I later joined eBay's search engine marketing team, buying approximately 40,000 keywords on a daily basis through AdWords to drive advertising traffic from Google into eBay. Again, helping them do more business online. Now, currently I'm a community advisor here at Cocoon. So Cocoon's a 14,000 square feet co-working space for entrepreneurs and freelancers. We now have more than 100 members. And as we are a social enterprise, my job is to drive as much productivity out of myself, my team, the space, at the lowest cost possible. So this is a bartender. So you guys have all seen a Swiss Army knife. This is exactly what that is, except it doesn't have a knife. It's all bar tools, okay? It's 10 bar tools. It represents what I'm trying to share with you today. So as an entrepreneur, I wear many hats. Some days I'm an accountant, some days I'm a marketer, some days I'm a blogger. And my job is to do more with less. Okay. Now, do more business, generate more business leads with less time and money. I spend a lot of time thinking about how can we do stuff for free? I'm not even talking about do it in an affordable rate. I'm thinking about doing it for free. But at the same time, as women, and you can see I'm 8 months pregnant, my job is also to think about how can I do it in a way that is flexible for me. I can work from home, I can work from the office, and reduce any excess time or staff that I need to hire. And if I do hire people, how can I use tools that's easy for me to train my staff with? A couple principles I think are the same, whether you're doing your business online or offline. Number one, you want to present your products. You want to show off your products. Then you want to market them. You want to reach out to your customers. You want to connect with your customers on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And finally, you need to manage day-to-day operations. You need to stay above water just to keep the whole thing afloat. Now, the first thing I want to share with you in terms of why go online, why take your business online, is because you can sell stuff online. Okay. So let me show you what I mean by that. Shopify. Shopify is a tool that I'm a big fan of, okay? It's essentially an end-to-end web store solution. You can choose from templates to build a really sexy store, all right? It's all there. All you need to do is select the design. Then you can manage your inventory. You can input all the SKUs you have, all the products you have, sizes, color options, pricing. So you can manage your inventory through Shopify as well. And they also have a payment gateway. So it's a one-stop solution that you can set up today when you go home to set up your online store, which I think is really amazing. There are lots of great platforms like this out there today. Now you can see on the top right, I highlighted the fact that you can do a free trial, okay? So I would recommend that anytime you see anything with a free trial, trial it. Because you can save time, you can save money, you can try stuff, you can figure out if you can learn this. Is this hard to use? Does your staff like to use it? I always get my staff to try stuff out with me because I need to get them on board. I need them to like what we're using. Otherwise, they won't use it. Now, all of this is time and money you're saving from building something from scratch. So this is what their shopping cart looks like. So it's very professional. It's all set for you. It's all done for you. You don't even have to write half a line of code. Another similar platform is Wix, W-I-X. Same thing. They have tons of templates you can choose from. Very sexy stuff. You don't need to, worry about building a site that looks, Web 1.0. Again, they also have a free trial, and it's $19.90 a month, US dollars. So if you think about the pricing, that's much more affordable than anybody you can hire to build your site, right? Especially before you know what kind of site you need. So another thing you can do online is raise money. You can raise money from your potential customers, people who like your product already or like your concept. Now there are several sites that do this. Number one is Kickstarter. Number two is Indiegogo. So for example, you have a prototype, or you have an idea, you have photo shots, or you have a video. You can post this online and get your potential customers to fund your business. This is what it looks like. So you can tell your customers, or your potential customers, how much money you need, all right? And they will each fund you $5, $10, $20. And all you have to give back to them is based on the tier. If they fund you $5, you can be like, I will give you back a sticker, a brand sticker. If you fund me $10, I can give you back a free accessory. So it's really up to you what you want to give back to them. But what's important here is that you really present your story, the story of your business, why you want to do your business, and why your potential customers should fund your business. Now, Kickstarter takes a 5% fee from your total funded project. Okay? Another reason to go online is to communicate with your customers, to get feedback, and to collect emails. Now let's talk about communicating with your customers. I use Skype often. The reason is because it's free. I can talk to potential buyers or potential partners anytime and anywhere. I can make international phone calls, and I don't have to sign a contract. I normally pay as I go. So I put in $100 a year, $100 Hong Kong a year, and I can make phone calls to the US, Canada, and I rarely run out of money. And I also never have to worry about how to call these people, because on the right-hand side, you'll see all the country codes are there, right? So all this stuff that I would normally deal with by setting up an office and setting up a long-distance dialing line, you don't have to worry about that with Skype. And with Skype, you can do video chats as well. I think the maximum you can do is 2 people. Now, if you want to have video chats with more than 2 people, try Google Hangout. Google Hangout, you can do video chats with more than, I think, up to 9 people. Now, these kinds of face-to-face communication, sometimes with potential vendors, really helps. It's much better than email. So I once interviewed a vendor who I was trying to bring on to do a demo video for me. So the fact that I could hear them and see them, and they can share links with me and show me demos of their product, really helped me evaluate whether or not I should hire them as a vendor. Another thing you can use online is collect feedback. So you want to find out what your customers are looking for. You want to find out what colors your customers are looking for, what flavors your customers are looking for, and whether they like your service. So with Google Docs, this is a Google form. This is how you set it up. You can, put in a title. You can ask them a long question. You can ask them a multiple choice question. You can ask them a rating question, all right? And this is what it looks like once it's published. It takes about 10 minutes to do a form like this. So what we do here at Cocoon is we publish forms like this for our members to tell us what they want, how they want us to improve our service. You can't really improve on anything you can't measure or you can't record. So I highly recommend, creating any kind of survey for people to give you insight on how to do your business better. And once all the comments come through, this is what it looks like in an Excel spreadsheet. It tells you when it came through, who wrote it, and what all their answers are. It's all very well organized for you. So you can bring it back to your team and figure out your next steps and new strategies. So it's a full loop, and I think it's very easy for entrepreneurs like ourselves to use. So another way I use Google Docs is for collecting emails. Now you can see we have two tablets at the front in our reception. And we get all of our visitors to sign in. You can do this for your customers as well. Whether it's in your store or on your website, get your customers to give you their emails. Because with their emails, you can promote any kind of new product launch to them, whenever that comes up. Email. So email service, I'm a big fan of Gmail because it's free. You can set it up in 5 minutes. You can set up a couple Gmail accounts for your various social media profiles. But if you have more time, I recommend you explore Gmail for Business. Gmail for Business is $5 per user per month, okay? And you can have your domain name at the end of your email. This is what it looks like. So it's exactly what Gmail normally looks like, except instead of Erica@Gmail, I have Erica@getpeacock.com. So with your own domain, your emails back to your customers will look a lot more legit. Now, say for example, you've been growing your mailing list. Now you have 100 people or 1,000 people in your mailing list. Then it's time to think about investing in more advanced email solutions. The one we use here is iContact. It helps us manage our mailing list and generate HTML emails. HTML means fancy emails, fancy looking emails with graphics and colors and all that. And it's very easy to use because it's all drag and drop. Now again, notice that they offered me a free trial. The reason why I use them today and pay them the $14 a month is because they offered me a free trial. And they offered my staff a free trial, so we all used it. And this is how we get out to our mailing list these days. And these email services generate reports. So you can know how many of your readers have opened your emails or have clicked through your emails. You can also prepare a couple emails in advance. You can prepare 4 emails for the month in advance. Set the date and get it to be published at the time that you want. So it's the set it and forget it model, which I love. Now another reason why I am a huge fan of using tools online is because it helps me manage my day-to-day operations. It helps me manage things like payment, time management, task management, accounting, and troubleshooting. So the first thing is PayPal. Hypothetically speaking, in the very early stages of your business, you don't need a web store. Maybe you don't have a web store. But you can take orders from emails. Your customers can email you and tell you, oh, I want to buy, one item of X, and just bill me and ship it to me. So what you can do is send them a PayPal payment request. All you need is their email address, and you can set in the amount of how much you're charging them for goods or services. They'll receive an email. They can pay you via PayPal. I mean, it can be that lightweight to start your business, start selling stuff online. Has anybody set up a PayPal account here? Okay, good. All right, so this will be quick. We'll go through one more thing. A PayPal button. So this is how easy it can get. So for example, here, you can set up a PayPal button. I'm selling muffins. I have 3 flavors. They're $15 each, all right? So then it will generate the snippet of code that I just copy and paste into my blog. And it will show the button on the right. So your customers can buy straight from your blog. And this will take you 10 minutes to set up. You can do it tonight. PayPal also offers you the ability to track your inventory. You can put in what you have in stock and when they need to alert you when you are running low on stock. So I think all these kinds of tools are useful for you to manage your business in a way that's a one-stop solution. Google Checkout also offers similar functionality. You can create a gadget that you can post to your blog with multiple products and all of their related pricing. And it takes minutes to do. So the pricing is 2.9% plus 30 cents US dollar per transaction. Another thing I use online tools for is time management. So we use Google Calendar to keep track of all of our internal events, such as meetings, maintenance schedules, day offs, and external events, such as community gatherings, speaker series, interview schedules, partnership discussions. So again, as an entrepreneur, you either work by yourself or you work with a very small team. That means you have to be wearing many hats at the same time, and you don't want to drop the ball. And the way to not drop the ball is to keep everything organized. And I think these kinds of tools really has helped us here at Cocoon to, stay afloat. Task management. So whether you're working on as a one-person team or you have 4 people working for you, I use Google Docs here to manage all of our tasks. We share a lot of documents on G Drive because we can access it from any computer or mobile device. And we use Google Spreadsheets to manage things like our membership database and our email editorial calendar. You can see here in the task list that we have a priority in listing when a task came through, when we've completed it, what is the priority, and the description of it. You'll be surprised how effective this is for keeping everything in your business clear to you. Accounting. So with all the sales that comes through in your business, you're eventually going to have to work with more than an Excel sheet. Here we use FreshBooks. It's an accounting solution, and again, they offered us a free trial. So we used that time to really find out whether we could use it, whether we could figure out how to use it, and whether it fits our needs. So now we use it to record all of our member data, to generate invoices, to manage expenses, and to generate monthly reports. We like the fact that it generates PDF invoices and automatically bills our members on a monthly basis. So you can set things on recurring. And anytime we can set something and forget about it, we like that, because that means that is one less thing we have to worry about. Here you can also add all your expenses that come through. Troubleshooting. Okay, I think a big part of entrepreneurship is trying to figure stuff out, because there are new rules to old games every day. And when you do something yourself, that doesn't mean you just rely on yourself. You can leverage on the conversations out there, all right? Ask good questions on Google or Quora, and you'll get smart answers. Ask questions like, how do I build a good Twitter follow-up base? How do I set up a blogger page? How do I sync my Facebook posts to Twitter? Ask these full sentence questions, and you'll find comprehensive answers by fellow entrepreneurs. Sometimes I include words like tips or how to. These kinds of buzzwords will help you generate the most succinct and useful suggestions. And sometimes I tag Quora, Q-U-O-R-A. I tag Quora into the topic because Quora is a site that generates a lot of great advice on entrepreneurship. This way, the search result will return answers that are listed in Quora. Or you can search directly in Quora and get your answers. This is what an answer in Quora would generally look like. The question and the most highly rated answers are listed below. In this section, I'm going to talk a little bit about how do you build your identity that connects with your customers and validate your brand online. And you also want to let your customers do the talking for you. You don't want to market yourself all the time. You want your customers to market for you. So I'm going to take Red Bull as an example. This is Red Bull's official site. This is their Facebook page. This is their Twitter page. Now I'm showing you all these platforms because I want you to know that social does not only exist on Facebook. You can use Flickr to store all your photos. We use Flickr to store thousands of photos for us, and we put that feed on our Apple TV over there. So everybody who walks through can see all of our most updated photographs. You can use YouTube channel to store all your evergreen content. You can use Instagram and Twitter to share what's happening right now. This is Red Bull's Instagram feed. So these are all different facets of your brand that are represented on different social media platforms. This is Red Bull's G+ page. This is their Pinterest page. Their YouTube channel. Now, if you're like Cocoon and you're a physical location, you have a store, then I recommend you get yourself on Google Maps. You can add your business to Google Maps. They require you to submit your BR and additional confirmation to make sure that you're really your business. But it's really worth it because once your customers will be able to find you, number one. Number two, when your customers are able to click through and find you, your relevance improves. Now this is where you get your customers talking on your behalf. Review sites. So I'm just taking the most generic ones like OpenRice and TripAdvisor. Take your customers' comments seriously. If they complain about something, fix it. Because that's how you can really improve on your experience. And anytime you get positive reviews, that's another word of mouth advertising you don't have to pay for. This is TripAdvisor, another one of my go-tos for traveling. I don't even go to a hotel's website anymore. I only look at their TripAdvisor page, because who else better to tell me, if a service is of high quality than the customer? So make sure you set up your profile on these review sites. It takes a little time, but do it. And it takes a little time to build. You need to respond to your customers' complaints or even their suggestions or recommendations. Now, I'm showing you all these possibilities, but I'm definitely not suggesting that you build all these social media profiles, because unless you're Red Bull and you have 50 people working in your marketing team, you won't be able to manage all your social media profiles. But I'm saying that you should think about what represents your brand the best. Are you a visual brand? Do you have a lot of products to show off? If that is the case, use Pinterest, use Instagram, they're all visual. Now for us here at Cocoon, we have 100 members. They all work on different startups. So we figured it would be good for us to invest in building a blog. So this is a blog we started in January, which features short one-page summaries of who they are and what they do. Now we thought that a blog like this would be interesting to a couple hundred people. But in the last 3 months since we started, we've had 14,000 page views. So we know this is effective for us. This is more effective for us than if we started a Pinterest page. So find the niche that fits your brand the best and use it. Now, while I'm on the topic of a blog, let me show you what else is cool about it. And by blog, I mean Blogger. I use Blogger exclusively. So in Blogger, they also show you analytics. They tell you which entry was most interesting to your members or your viewers, the number of page views. So you can kind of get a gauge of, are you talking about things that your readers are interested in? They also do something called dynamic view these days. So dynamic view is a template which offers your readers the ability to change the way the blog shows up for them, how the blog is displayed, and I love that. So I don't have to worry about the template. My reader can decide how they want the blog to be shown. It's called dynamic view. But in addition to dynamic view, they have the static view as well, which offers a lot of free templates. Now in the layout section of Blogger, there is a thing called add a gadget. Now in add a gadget, you can add the HTML JavaScript. Now I'll go back a little bit to the PayPal button. Remember the code that was generated on PayPal? All right, you copy that code and paste it in the HTML JavaScript gadget. That's it. It's that simple. It takes 10 seconds to do. And that's how you can add your Buy Now button to your blog. You can also include Facebook social plugins. So this is what a Facebook social plugin looks like. It basically adds a miniature version of your Facebook page to your blog. You just search for Facebook social plugins, And you can tell them which Facebook page you want to generate this miniature version for. And that's how you can add it to your blog as well, or your website for that matter. Now, the question of to build or not to build a website comes up often. A lot of people ask us for recommendations for, do you have a developer or a graphic designer you can recommend us to build a site? So I get a lot of those questions. Now, my recommendation to you would be, don't build anything from scratch. Not at the beginning. Don't build anything from scratch. Try stuff for free. All that free stuff I showed you with the last 50 slides, try it for free. Get your staff to try it for free. Do they like it? Do they know how to use it? Will they use it? And pay for these low-cost services. I mean, if you added up all the amounts listed in the previous slides, I don't know, it's 200 US dollars, 300 US dollars. That's really cheap. You can't even get a graphic designer to design your logo for that amount, right? So use these low-cost services and test out the water and find out what makes sense to you. Can you even generate revenue? Are you selling stuff? Does it make sense to build something that costs you a couple grand when you can't even sell one item? So find out what it is you really need, and I recommend you spend time doing what you're best at. Whether you're a good marketer or you're a good product designer, spend your time doing stuff you're really good at, and spend a little money on all these tools out there that can help you do your business online, rather than spend all your time building a website. Now, if you're running your business for 6 months, a year, and you feel like, okay, I really can build my business online now, then go ahead, build your stuff. And by now, you already know what your pain points are and what you really need. What does your site really need? What does your product really need? And take screenshots. Take screenshots of sites that you like. I always show people what I'm talking about, because you can't explain to a graphic designer or a developer what you want. Take screenshots, show them what you're talking about, and hire a development team the way you would hire any other staff on your team, okay? Ask for a portfolio, call to check for references, negotiate your contract, and set deadlines and penalties. What if they don't complete their job? Be specific in terms of the scope of your product. The front end, what does it look like to your customer? That's only half of your project. You gotta think about the back end. How do you manage your inventory? How do you manage your payment? How do you manage your content? And always include Google Analytics. It takes your developer 5 minutes to include Google Analytics. It's just a little bit of code that they put on every page. Now with Google Analytics, you can get a really good idea in terms of where your users are coming from into your website, what they're looking at, where they're dropping off, okay? Google Analytics is very comprehensive. Again, top right-hand corner, it's free. So use it. It's invaluable. And you can't improve your business unless you can measure it. So maybe you have the best product in the world, but none of your customers can find it on your website. So that might be why you're not generating sales. Now, a couple other quick resources. Domains. Okay, you can buy your domain on GoDaddy, but you'll find that you need to really think about your domain these days. They might be 2-word combos, 3-word combos, because a lot of people are parking sites. And they start at $12.99 US dollars. I also use Yahoo domains. They start at $9.95. Graphics. Okay, I don't know how to use Photoshop. I wish I did, but I don't. So I go to this site called Pixlr, P-I-X-L-R. I use their Pixlr editor, online editor. It's free. This is where I crop my images or resize images. You also don't need to hire a graphic designer to design all your icons. You can get them from iStockPhoto. iStockPhoto has a lot of stock images and stock illustrations. Buy them in bulk. They cost $13.99 for 8 credits. So you can buy, like, I think one of these square boxy things with 1 credit. So it's pay as you go. Again, very affordable. Only pay for what you need. Now, another thing we spend a lot of time here at Cocoon doing is hosting events. And I recommend using a platform called Eventbrite because it helps you manage the emails of your attendees, handle tickets and RSVPs, and easy check-in. Now, why do I recommend doing events? If you're selling stuff, I think it's always great to do meetups, product launches, or pop-up stores. This way, you can bring your offline customer into your store and later turn them into your online customer. Now at Cocoon, we have no marketing budget. So hosting events, so that's why we host events here, because we want to reach out to folks like yourselves, the entrepreneurs, the freelancers. If I posted an ad in SCMP, that would just be burning cash. I wouldn't actually be able to connect with real people. So if you're doing a business and you have a physical location or you have physical products, do a pop-up store. Do a pop-up store in someone else's store. You don't even need a store. Find a friend who has a store or talk to a store that you like. See if you can do a pop-up store there. You want to get your potential customers to experience your services or products. Once they experience it, then they're much more likely to convert. So I'm closing to the end of my presentation, and that was a lot of slides. But what can you do today? Okay, this is what you can do in 5 minutes. Set up your Facebook page and create a photo album with a collection of your products shots, okay? You may have 20 products, you may have 5 products. Throw a photo album on Facebook. Second thing you can do is create an email subscription form using Google Forms. Then the third thing I'd do is I'd go back to Facebook, I'd run a promotion and tell my fans or my friends and family that, you know what, submit your email to my email subscription list by Friday and I will give something free away. Maybe it can be your feature product. I'll give out a free, frozen yogurt on Friday for anybody who submits an email. Now, what can you do in 1 hour? You can set up a PayPal button or a Google Checkout gadget. Then you can create a blog for your business and write your first post. Then link your product and the checkout button in your post. And in 2 hours, I think you can set up a Shopify storefront with your latest collection. Then set up your Gmail for Business account or your iContact account and send your friends and family an email. Tell them, look, I have a new store. I have a new store in Shopify. Tell them you also have a new Facebook page or a new Pinterest page. And share with them your blog. Tell them, oh, I just wrote a new blog post. And include your Skype contact in the signature so they can, reach out to you or contact you later. Now, going forward on the daily, monthly, weekly basis, this is kind of how I think about managing my business. On a daily basis, check your emails, respond to your customers. They will message you, they will complain, they'll ask questions. Do that. Reply to them by email on a daily basis. Now, on a weekly basis, update your blog. Write a short 1-paragraph blurb once a week. Tell your customers what's happening inside your business. People care about what happens behind your business more than what you sell them. And twice a week, maybe you can update your Pinterest or update your Instagram. Show great photographs. Nobody reads anymore these days, okay? So show great photographs. If you're on Facebook, nobody reads. So great photos, ask questions, set up polls, something that's engaging to your customer. Twice a month, you can send emails to your customers with mood boards or product shots and promotions. And every quarter, I'd update the Shopify store. I'd update it with new products and brand images. So that's all. Thank you. And my slides are available there. How much time do I have? Okay, I have a few minutes. If anybody has any questions. Go ahead. I'm going to give you the mic so they can hear you.
When you were talking about the email subscription form that you can create on Google Docs. Um, where do you put that? What do you do with it? Like, how do you show it to your customers?
You can post that to your, okay, so what once you have an email subscription, it generates a link, all right? So it's basically a web page. Now with this web page, you can post it to your Facebook page, you can post it to your website, you can post it to your blog. Let's see if I can find it, there. You can post it to your blog. It's essentially a link. Anywhere that you can put a link, you can put it in there. You can put it in your emails. The emails that you send out, you can be like, oh, anybody who wants to subscribe, or if you want to forward it to friends, you know, click on this link. It's a link, yes. Okay. FreshBooks.com, they help you generate invoices. You can add all your customer data in there. You can add all your expenses, and it will generate monthly reports for you.
Can I ask regarding security of using this tools, basically? Because in our case, we've had cases in which we got basically randomly hacked and databases were deleted from the website, so the back end was basically deleted. So in terms of security, how secure some of these options are versus an own website, which might be not secure?
That's a really good question. So a couple of things. When you set up all these accounts, make sure you have an Excel sheet that lists all your passwords. Don't use the same password for all your accounts. That's easily hackable. Number two, this goes back to the troubleshooting. Whenever I look for a product or a tool, I always compare it with relevant tools out there. I search for it online to make sure it's legitimate and like tens of millions of people are using it. So that way I know that their security is much better and they'll be around for business to keep my business alive longer. And actually, I think building your own website does not necessarily make your business more secure. Depends on your developer. You don't know where your stuff is being stored. You don't know where the server is. You don't know if you're sharing your server with somebody else. So I think that, number one, make sure all your passwords are different for all your different accounts. And number two, cross-reference tools out there. The ones I recommended today are best in class at that price. So I think that should not be a problem.
Hi, you mentioned using iContact for mailing list management. What's the difference between that and MailChimp?
So I've tried using MailChimp, and this happens to me often because I would try one or two products just to get a comparison in terms of, you know, what the different functionality and features are. MailChimp collects emails, and it also does email sending. But I found it a little bit challenging in terms of building HTML emails. They didn't have the drag and drop functionality, and I couldn't quite understand a lot of the metaphors in their system. So in essence, it took me, I spent maybe 2 hours trying to figure out how to use it. I couldn't figure out how to use it, so I was like, gotta find something easier. Yeah.
You suggest sending out a newsletter twice a month. I mean, is that not spamming?
Okay, so this is something I'm learning as I'm working here at Cocoon. I don't like to spam people, and I don't like to be spammed. But the issue is, a lot of your customers are not going to be reading your emails. So twice a month gives you a little bit more probability that someone will open it. And recently I've learned, my dad and my brother are here, they told me, Erica, think about the subject line, okay? Create a subject line that your customers are interested in. Ask a question, raise a topic, something that will engage them to open your email, because most of the time people won't even open it. So that's why I would send it twice a month. Yes?
You mentioned something about sending. having a feedback forms and send that out to customers, do you think running a poll on the website could be another easier alternative, or in your experience, sending an email out for feedback or things like that has worked better?
Okay, so this is the feedback form you were talking about. I think that both way works. These days, you can do polls on Facebook. Now, polls are much shorter. So you would really be asking like single word questions, or, you know, like 4 options that you can offer people. In terms of visitor comments or customer comments, I think email would work. So for example, if you have a customer who emails you about your service, then I would send them a customer feedback form, because this is the kind of customer who's already more engaged with you and more willing to give you feedback. So I think that a poll on your website is a lightweight engagement form. A longer feedback questionnaire like this is for customers who have done business with you or interested in doing business with you.